There are 5 financial freedom levels, and most people don't know which one they're actually standing on. They just know they don't feel free yet, even if their bank account looks fine on paper. In the next several minutes, we're going to walk through all 5, and by the end, you'll be able to place yourself exactly and know what actually moves you to the next one. Here's why this matters more than a normal how to get rich video. Financial freedom isn't one finish line you cross someday. It's a staircase, and almost every money decision you've ever felt anxious about, a job, a big purchase, whether to finally quit something draining you, depends on which stair you're standing on right now. People give the same advice to someone on step 1 and someone on step 4, and it fails constantly because the advice was built for a different level entirely. Level 1 is financial dependence. This is where everyone begins. Childhood, obviously, but also anyone currently relying on someone else to cover their basic needs, whether that's a parent, a partner, or the state. No shame here. It's the starting point for the whole species. But dependence shapes a money mindset that tends to follow people long after they leave it. A belief that money is something controlled by someone else, given rather than built. That belief doesn't just vanish the day someone starts earning a paycheck. It often shows up years later as a quiet discomfort with financial decisions, even ones they're fully capable of making. Level 2 is financial solvency. This is the first real threshold, covering your own basic expenses without going into debt to survive. You might have zero savings, you might be living paycheck to paycheck, but you're not drowning. A huge share of adults live here for years, and it's exhausting because there's almost no margin. One car repair or one missed shift can knock you backward instantly. If this is you, the goal isn't wealth building yet. It's a small buffer, even a few $100s, because that buffer is what lets you start thinking a step ahead instead of purely reacting to whatever happens today. Level 3 is financial stability. An emergency fund genuinely exists, usually 3 to 6 months of expenses, and any debt is manageable rather than suffocating. This shift is more psychological than financial. Once a crisis stops meaning catastrophe, decision-making gets calmer, risk tolerance changes, and a lot of the emotional spending we talk about on this channel quiets down naturally because so much of it was actually a stress response to not having this safety layer in the first place. Level 4 is financial security, where wealth building really starts to compound. Your assets are generating meaningful passive income. Maybe not enough to live on yet, but enough to feel the machine working on its own. Money mindset gets tested differently here, because the temptation isn't scarcity anymore, it's the opposite. Lifestyle inflation. The pull to spend up to match a growing net worth instead of continuing to build it. The people who move fastest through this level are the ones who keep spending roughly flat while income rises, letting that widening gap do the compounding for them instead of absorbing it into a bigger lifestyle. Level 5 is financial independence, the one most people picture when they hear financial freedom at all. Investments and passive income fully cover living expenses, and work becomes optional rather than required. Worth being precise here, this doesn't mean never working again. Plenty of people at this level keep working, just on their own terms, doing work they'd choose even without a paycheck attached. What actually changes is leverage. You're trading time because you want to, not because survival demands it. Here's the part that surprises people. Satisfaction doesn't climb in a straight line through these levels. The jump from level 1 to level 3, from survival to genuine stability, produces an enormous leap in reported life satisfaction and reduced anxiety. But the jump from level 4 to level 5 tends to produce a much smaller emotional gain than people expect. The biggest relief on this whole staircase happens earlier than most people assume. So why do people get stuck? Almost never because the strategy is a mystery. Save, invest, avoid high-interest debt, let compounding work. Everyone's heard some version of that. People get stuck because their level requires a specific psychological shift they haven't made yet. And no amount of tactical advice fixes a mindset problem on its own. Someone at level 2 forcing level 4 strategies, aggressive investing, big risks, often ends up worse off, having skipped the stability layer that would let them absorb a downturn without panicking. Someone at level 4 still running a level 2 scarcity mindset often can't enjoy any of the freedom they've actually built because the nervous system never got the memo that the threat has passed. Pause and name which level you're actually on, not where you wish you were. That single moment of honesty changes what the right next move looks like for you specifically. Level 1 or 2, build any buffer at all. Level 3, start building assets deliberately, even in small amounts. Level 4, watch lifestyle inflation closely. It's the biggest thing slowing people down here. Near level 5, it's worth asking whether you're chasing a number or whether you already got most of what you were looking for a few steps back. Drop a comment with the level you landed on. No judgment. It tells me which of these 5 stages to go deeper on next. Wealth building isn't really about the size of the number at the end. It's about moving up one level at a time, doing the specific work that level requires, instead of skipping ahead to strategies built for a different stage. Know your level, do the work it needs, and the next one gets a lot more reachable than it looks from where you're standing right now. If this helped you place yourself, subscribe. Because next up, we're going deeper into exactly how money mindset shifts at each of these 5 levels, and how to recognize which one might be quietly holding you back.